Circumference of a circle. The circumference of a circle is the distance around the outside. To find the circumference of the circle, you multiply pi by the diameter. Don't forget the diameter is the distance from one side of the circle to the other through the centre. And as you remember, pi is a very special number which is often rounded to 3.14. The formula is normally abbreviated to C equals pi d. Don't forget there's an invisible times between the pi and the d. Let's have a look at an example. We need to find the circumference of this circle, so that's the distance around the outside, using pi rounded to 3.14. So using the formula C equals pi times d, the diameter you can see is 10, and we're using for pi its approximation of 3.14. So substituting those values into my formula, I get C equals 3.14 multiplied by 10, which when we work out is 31.4 centimetres. Now circumference is a distance, so therefore it's just centimetres. Sometimes the examiner can try and trick you. Let's look at this example. Now we have to find the circumference of the circle using pi to 3.14. Now in the formula for the circumference of a circle, you use the diameter. However, here they've only given you the radius. Now sometimes people forget that this is the radius, not the diameter, so be careful. So what we have to do first is the diameter is 2 times the radius, therefore the diameter is 4. So then using the formula C equals pi times d, I substitute my value of 3.14 as my approximation to pi and 4 centimetres for my diameter into the formula. So that gives me 3.14 multiplied by 4, which is 12.56 centimetres. And again, don't forget your units. Now, as I've mentioned, one of the most common mistakes in questions like these are if you don't read the question carefully, you may end up using your 2 centimetres, which is the radius, for the diameter. So be careful. In the previous two examples, we've used pi as 3.14. However, in this example, we're going to use the pi button on the calculator, which will give you a more accurate answer. So we have to find the circumference of the circle with diameter 12 centimetres. So first of all we have our formula, C equals pi times d. Substitute my d into the formula. Don't forget we're going to be using the button on the calculator. So we simply press 12 multiplied by the pi button on the calculator, and you get the answer to be 37.7 centimetres. This answer has been rounded to 1 decimal place. Now in some questions you may be given the circumference and you have to work backwards to find the diameter. So in this example we're going to use pi to 3.14. We've been given the circumference, so we will work backwards to find what the diameter is. So first of all, we need our formula, C equals pi times d, and we'll substitute in the circumference, which is given to us, 50.24, into the formula, and they want us to use pi to 3.14, and this is the unknown, this is the diameter which we're trying to find. So then to find the diameter, we will divide this side, 50.24, by 3.14. So we'll do the inverse operation to find diameter. So that will give us 50 divided by my 3.14 equals diameter, and putting that into my calculator I get the answer of 16 centimetres. Now it's your turn to try some questions. Pause the video and then have a go. How did you get on? Here are the answers. If If you answered any incorrectly, have a look back through the video and then have another go.